right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Lindy Chabalala, and today I'll be talking about something that's at the fascinating intersection of technology and healthcare, and that is how technology is revolutionizing the field of medicine. So the talk is called Decoding the Future of Medicine, How Code is Transforming Drug Discovery. Can everyone hear me? Okay.
Just purchased.
All right. Okay, so this presentation is called Decoding the Future of Medicine and How Code is Transforming Drug Discovery. So it is going to be about the innovative ways that researchers and scientists are using code to change how we discover new drugs. But before diving into how computational tools are accelerating the development of these life-saving molecules, I'll just start with a quick overview of how drug discovery traditionally works. All right, so you can imagine trying to debug a human disease. That's essentially how drug discovery has been like. It has been slow, expensive, and incredibly complex. So traditional methods often take more than a decade and they can cost billions of dollars. Take Alzheimer's disease, for instance, despite decades of research and enormous investments, um, it remains a highly effective treatment. The highly effective treatment remains elusive. Sorry, I'm just nervous. So it's a striking example of just how high the failure rates can be in drug development. So statistically, only 1 in 5,000 compounds ever make it to the market. Most of them are filtered out due to issues like toxicity, poor efficacy, and unexpected side effects. Researchers often compare it to like finding a bug in legacy code, except this one was written by nature with no documentation. But now with the growing use of computational tools and algorithms, there's actually a shift underway. Drug discovery is becoming faster, smarter, and increasingly driven by code. All right, so you might ask, where does the code come in? It has become the engine that's driving much of modern drug discovery. With access to massive biological data sets, often measured in terabytes, researchers now rely on code to clean, to analyze, and to extract meaningful insights. So rather than physically testing millions of compounds in the lab, many of these tests are now simulated virtually. So AI models are being used to identify potential disease targets and to even design entirely new molecules that could lead to breakthrough treatments. It's a bit like building a search engine, but instead of finding like web pages, it's just helping scientists to find life-saving drugs. All right, so here's how the code fits into the modern pipeline. It starts with collecting data from databases like UniProt. So they're collecting proteomic data or genomic data from databases like UniProt. And then, for example, researchers might compare gene expression in cancer cells versus healthy ones. And then algorithms help to identify targets like faulty proteins using tools such as CRI, PR screening, and machine learning classifiers. And then next we have virtual screening, whereby millions of molecules are tested in silico to see how well they bind to the target. And then this helps them rank the most promising candidates. From there, molecular simulations refine properties like shape and binding strength using physics-based models. And then finally, AI predicts how these compounds might behave in the body, flagging issues like toxicity or poor absorption sometimes. And then what used to take years in the lab can now happen in like months or weeks, I don't know, yeah. So what tools make all of this possible? We have languages like Python and R, which play a central role in analyzing biological data and building predictive models. So researchers commonly use libraries like RDKit, which is used to compute molecular properties and to visualize chemical structures. And then for simulating how a drug interacts with its target, they use tools like AutoDock for virtual docking experiments. And then there's DeepChem, which is an open source toolkit that applies machine learning techniques to molecular data sets, helping to uncover patterns that might be invisible to the human eye. And one of the most groundbreaking developments in recent years was AlphaFold, which predicts protein structures with remarkable accuracy, solving a challenge that stumped like researchers for decades. Together, these tools form a powerful computational toolbox that is reshaping how scientists approach drug discovery. Okay, so let's now take a look into some real world examples that highlight how these technologies are already making a major impact. So during the COVID-19 pandemic, the rapid development of Pfizer and Moderna's mRNA vaccines was partly thanks to computational biology. Researchers used code to model the virus's spike protein, to simulate immune responses, and to virtually test different vaccine designs, therefore accelerating the timeline before clinical trials even began. Another groundbreaking example is AlphaFold, which I've already mentioned, which was developed by DeepMind, I think, yeah. It solved the decades-old protein folding problem by predicting a protein's 3D structure directly from its amino acid sequence. So this was a scientific challenge that researchers had been working on for over 50 years. And in 2020, AlphaFold's predictions reached a level of accuracy that's comparable to experimental methods, which is an achievement that has been called transformative for drug discovery. So by understanding a protein structure, scientists are now able to design molecules that interact with it more precisely. And then we also have companies like Eli Lilly, which are using machine learning to reduce drug discovery, to reduce drug development timelines, sometimes by several years. Okay, so of course, this technological revolution doesn't come without its challenges. One of the biggest hurdles is the data quality. High quality, clean, and complete biological data is essential, but in practice, it's often noisy, inconsistent, or incomplete. Another issue lies in the computational models themselves. So many AI systems, they function as black boxes, producing accurate predictions, but offering little transparency into how these predictions were made. So that lack of interpretability can be problematic in a field whereby understanding why something works is often as important as whether it works. So there's also the challenge of integration. Genomic data, chemical structures, and clinical outcomes all live in different systems. So bringing them together into a single coherent framework is a major technical and scientific task. But then these challenges also represent opportunities for researchers around the world, whereby they are actively working to overcome them, pushing for better standards, more explainable AI, and seamless integration of diverse data sets, data sources. So, looking ahead, the possibilities are both exciting and transformative. Researchers are working toward a future whereby personalized medicine tailors treatments to an individual's unique genetic profile, therefore dramatically improving effectiveness and minimizing side effects. Automated AI-powered laboratories may also soon operate around the clock, accelerating the pace of drug discovery from years to just days. And at the same time, open source platforms are democratizing access to powerful tools, allowing scientists around the globe to collaborate and contribute to these breakthroughs, regardless of geography and funding. So the future of drug discovery isn't just evolving, it's being revolutionized. And at the heart of it all is the code that we all write. Okay, so one might ask, how reliable are these AI predictions in the space? And can these technologies completely replace traditional lab testing? Sorry. So these AI predictions, although they are becoming increasingly reliable, especially for early stage research, human expertise and lab validation remain critical, because AI just assists, it doesn't replace the whole process. And while these technologies speed things up and help the researchers to focus on the most promising candidates, they still need physical experiments to confirm things like safety, dosage, and how drugs behave in the human body. So what's the key takeaway from this takeaway? Code is transforming the entire landscape of drug discovery, from identifying potential targets to streamlining clinical trials. It's making the process faster, more affordable, and more efficient, while also opening doors to treatments that once seemed to be out of reach. Biologists bring the deep understanding of these diseases, and then computer scientists build the tools that analyze this complex data. Then AI researchers unlock the power of prediction. So together, they are not just speeding up the science, but they are reshaping the future of medicine as a whole. And I think that is all I have for today. Thank you.